Hello, everyone. Welcome to day number 3. Hello, everyone in the chat who's here. Hi, Annie and Gareth and Sam and Tim and Glenn. Hey, I am Elizé. I am your host for the day. I don't know if I've introduced myself to you guys the last few days much, but I'm an Adobe XD instructor. I'm a freelance UX designer, and I do content on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all the things, trying to make education a good time. So I hope you guys have a good time with me today. So let's get into the creative challenge. Let me show you my screen real quick. So it has started Monday, the June 21st. It's running for 2 weeks live, and then it goes and does the replay of the 2 weeks the following week. So you really have 4 weeks to complete your project, and you can rewatch some of the videos, tweak things. You got a full month to work on it. But like I said, I'll be live with you every day for this week and for next week. So if you haven't signed up, typically when you go onto the site, behance.net/challenge/XD, you'll see this blue button at the top, which that's how you will be able to be part of the challenge, and that's how you'll be able to enroll. And from there, you'll receive a challenge every day at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. You should have your challenge. This is day number 2, which is unlocked right here underneath on this page. So you can watch the video, get started, and download the Adobe XD starter file right there. And then you'll join the community chat. Okay, guys, have you guys joined yet in the chat? Let me know. I'm going to show it to you real quick. But I was so excited when I was looking at your guys' challenges from yesterday. If you haven't uploaded anything into Discord yet, what you'll do is you'll go into the feedback section under challenge. And that's where you'll be able to upload your challenges. There are some amazing mood boards. All of you guys did such a great job. I was so excited to look through them today, to give you guys feedback, give you guys props. Really great work. Another thing that you might want to check out in here is the advice and tips and tricks area. Here is where I uploaded tons of resources from yesterday on colors, typography, etc. And that's where I'm going to continue to post some of the resources that I talk about in the live stream. Also, after today's session, I will be in the Ask Me Anything channel for 20-30 minutes. So feel free to ask me anything about this challenge, about your design career, anything you want. I'll be there hanging out. Hope to see you guys there. All right. So again, that's how you can join the community chat, just right here from that direct link, or you can go down below and you can also download the link from there, as well as get XD from here. And then of course, you'll just watch the daily show every single day from 2 p.m. to about 2:30. And then be sure again to upload your work. Utilize the feedback that you're going to get from myself, as well as all of the mentors in Discord channel. This is such a huge opportunity that you guys can take advantage of. Cool. So actually what I want to do is I want to show and highlight a couple of the mood boards that you guys shared in Discord yesterday. So this is one from Amanda. What I loved about this one is she kind of went above and beyond. She created her own persona, created her own goals and frustrations for her persona, and then also included attributes from the mood board, as well as added colors and typography. So Leda was also a really great typeface that she chose as well, that reads really well for design. So I just love that she kind of went above and beyond there. Thanks, Amanda. I also wanted to share a mood board from Adi yesterday. This is so clean. Like the second I see it, I feel like serene, relaxed. I like the typography choice. Roboto is another great one for readability. Feels really calm and collective. And then we have another one here from Elle. And hers is kind of like, I feel like a jungly, dark, mossy cool color or cool feeling and vibe when I'm looking at this. Great typography and color choices. So I'm so excited to see all of you guys upload your stuff, see your work. And you've done all such a great job. I can only highlight a few, but I want you guys to know that I looked at all of them and I was really, really wowed. So pat on your back. All right. Let me show you what the XD file is going to look like here. We have, this is what it's going to look like for you. Pretty much you'll have this artboard here, and it's going to let you know the challenge prompt, which is designing the onboarding screen for your plant care app, and then also using component states. I'm going to show you guys like a beginner level and then a little bit more advanced level. So we have kind of a pick your own adventure situation today. Here's some inspiration from Behance and a couple of ways that people have created their onboarding screens here with these illustrations. And you have your resource booklet. And then this is going to look a little different than on your screen. Yours is going to probably look a little bit more like this with just this one screen. Okay, you'll have this screen that I gave you as a starter file, but I'm going to break it down and then give you guys some tips and tricks here. So we are designing the onboarding screen. Do you guys know what the onboarding screen is? What it's supposed to be for? Anybody in the chat? Well, the onboarding screen is really to showcase and highlight the main features of your app. And so you want to think about what are the pain points that you're solving? What is the problem you're solving for? What are the goals and motivations of your users? So that's why having that persona is really handy to think about when you think of different solutions for your user, for your plant app. Now you can go ahead and use the ones I created for mine. But you can also, of course, adapt it for yourself and your own persona. Like we saw the persona from, I think, Amanda, right? So I also put in the Discord in the tips and tricks area, my persona. So you can utilize that as well if you want to come up with your own solutions. So we have Toki saying, yeah, info about what is the app about and the value proposition. Great. Yeah, exactly. And you can also talk about, like Alma says, how to use the app too. That could be part of the onboarding experience. Maybe not part of this sign up screen, well, not as in depth within the sign up screen, but certainly when you get into the app, onboarding can be that whole experience of really kind of holding the user's hand and showing them how to use the app. So that's great. And so let me show you mine here. I have 3 features that I wanted to focus on. One is, never kill a plant again. That was one of the big problems for our persona. And we're going to send her reminders for everything related to plant care. And then the other aspect here is tips from the experts. That was the other thing that really mattered to our persona. And then we have the get inspired. She also looks at Pinterest a ton and is really inspired in how to arrange her plants and ideas for new plants she should get. So those are some of the 3 features. Again, feel free to put in your own 3 or less, whatever you want, 2, 4 ideas here that you think are going to showcase your value proposition, the great perks about using your app. So here you'll see that that's the screen I created, and I have all those 3 screens. When I show you, I have all of those 3 screens in one artboard. Now this is going to be for more of the advanced level. If this is your first time creating a screen, don't worry about that. Just create this one screen and design one screen, and that's brilliant. That's already a lot for when you're first beginning. All right. I'm also throwing into the chat, because that's how I do. I'm going to throw into the chat a link, if someone can make it clickable, for onboarding best practices and things to think about when you're onboarding. But we're going to break down a screen right here and some important components for mostly any onboarding screen. I have a background layer. This is not that important. This is just my own pizzazz. If you guys recall yesterday, my whole inspiration was beautiful pot holders. So that's why I kind of have a style like that, like a style of a cool plant holder. And then I have an image here that I'm adding as well. And if you guys didn't see or don't know how to create masks and input images in them, you can watch the welcome video and I showcase how to do just that. So here is, I have my text here. And so the most important thing here is image, because this is what lures your users into your app. Image tells a lot more than words do. People notice and are aware of images much more. So that's something you want to include, is either photography or an illustration like we saw here. Something that kind of lures them in. That's typically big part of the anatomy of an onboarding screen. The second is having some sort of heading. So a text that lures the user in, and then maybe some subtext to explain a little bit more. The other thing I have here is 3 circles. These are your progress sliders or your progress indication, because people don't want to like scroll forever and learn forever. You guys might have like gone through many of these yourselves on apps, like, okay, I don't want to read so much. You want to let them know where they are in the progress of going through these features. So that's why we have this indicator. So this is important to include. And then also having the ability to skip. Some people don't want to read a bunch. They just want to like, let's get into the app. Let's start going. Let's get into it. Allow that opportunity as well. And then here I have a button. So the user can click through here to get to the next screens, or I wanted them to have another opportunity. They can click this button and I'm going to add a little arrow. The first thing I want to show you is plugins. On the left-hand side in the bottom left-hand corner here is where your plugins will live. If you don't have any plugins, at the top here, I think it says like download plugins or something like that, or you'll have this plus button. I'm not sure right now, but that's where you're able to download them. You'll see something like this. On the left-hand side, you can search for plugins. So the one I'm going to show you is Icons for Design. And then you can install it from here. And from there, you're going to now see them in your left-hand panel in the bottom left-hand corner here for your plugins. If you don't know what plugins are, these are kind of like little boosters to XD. XD has great features, but it could, always have a little more, a little something, something. So these are little special features that we add into XD. So Icons for Design, I already searched for arrow, so you can search for whatever you want, whether it's a plus sign, a heart, etc. And then you have all these options here, and I'm just going to choose this like little button, icon here to add to the button. And then I'm just gonna bring it right in there, and I'm gonna change the color to white. So there's my button now. So really, again, when you're designing, it's really shapes, text, and that's in lines. Like that's really what UI design is. So I want you guys to create your own onboarding screen. Again, this is just perfect for a beginner. If you want to start adding the multiple screens, a second and third screen, and this again is just for beginners, you can create a second artboard, design it, etc. And you can have your 3 screens that way. But now I'm going to go into more advanced. We're going to use component states to have all these 3 states within one screen. So in order to do that, I'm just going to take the components that I want to, or the objects that I want to turn into a component. And then to create a component, I'm going to go over into the right-hand side in my property inspector with a little plus sign and add the plus sign there. So now this is a component. I'll go further into components another time, but really what a component is if I make this a component, I make any duplicates of it. If I change something in this master component, the first one I created, like change the color, it's going to reflect on every replica of my components. So that's kind of the purpose. But for today, we're going to be creating various states of the component. Now, you guys might have seen components before in this kind of capacity where they're like micro components, like the radio button, turning it on and off, a heart, toggle. These are kind of micro interactions button states that we have here, but I'm using it kind of more for something more, a little more macro than micro. Today we're using it for this whole onboarding section. So on the right-hand side, in order to create a new state, I'm just going to add a new state with this little plus button and select new state. I can change the title, onboarding 2. Now I can make whatever adjustments I want to it. So I am actually going to select this circle. And if you remember, on the left-hand side, I have my document assets, my colors that I added from yesterday. So those are ready for me. And I did change the background layer in my actual, let me show you it in this actual design, but for time's sake, I'm not going to show you how I changed the background layer. But if you want to, you can ask me in Discord when I'm hanging out there. Now what I want to do is I just want to move this background layer. So you can see I'm going into my layers panel to move things about. And then I can, change the text out if I want to. Oops. Tips from the experts. And the other thing I want to show you is another plugin that I use all the time on the left-hand side. Over here is free stock search. So this has actually images from Unsplash, Pixabay, Pexels, Adobe Stock, etc. And you can search. And if I have this selected, I can go into an image, select it, and then it's going to bring in that image. So here I have that image there. And I'm just moving things about. I have some questions here. Anura's asking, Anurda, sorry if I'm saying it wrong. Anurda, what's the advantage of having components versus having 3 separate artboards? You'll notice when you start building out more and more screens, you're going to have just hundreds or thousands of screens at some points. So it's nice to have something that you can kind of condense all into one. It's just an option. It's not like, oh, wow, it's so superior. That's why if you do it the original way of just having 3 screens, that's totally okay. But here you're just taking advantage of the component states for thinking about your onboarding as a component piece as well. So from here, I've created my 2 states. And on the right-hand side in my property inspector, I can see my default state and my onboarding state. But now I need to prototype it. So I'm going to go into prototype mode. And this is the button that I want clickable. So I am just going to select that. And then on the right-hand side, there's a little plus button, interaction. The trigger is tap. And the action, I'm going to have it as auto animate. And the destination is going to be the second onboarding, number 2. That's the other state that I have here. So let's put it in action. Click it, and then it has a little movement if you want. So for more advanced folks, feel free to have fun with the animations here and the transitions. You can really go all out with sort of the movements you want to have. And I'm only showing the first 2 states, but I built out in my design 3 states here. So you can also build out if you have your onboarding screen with 2 states or with 4 states, etc. Feel free to have free reign and have fun and play around with that. Toke is also asking if it's less than 3 screens, is it still important to offer a skip option? The point of the onboarding is to give a brief insight into the app. So I always allow the user to kind of pick their own path. Oftentimes you'll see, and I've seen from studies about onboarding screens, is a majority of people prefer not to read through every word and prefer to learn just by doing. So there is always another opportunity to showcase how the the app works once the user's inside the app as well. So you have this kind of onboarding, like a pre-onboarding, and then you can have an even deeper onboarding once someone has gone into the app. And that could also be skippable as well. Some people, again, people who want to learn by doing, allow them to do that. And that's kind of an ultimate experience where you allow people to kind of choose the path that they want to take. Great question, Toke. Cool. So that's how you're going to create your onboarding screen. Again, beginners, feel free just to have one screen, or you can start to, if you want to have 3 screens, you can build them out in 3 different artboards. More advanced, you might want to put them all into one artboard and then prototype them, including some animations. All right, make sure the most important thing is just to think about the substance of your app, the value proposition. What makes it cool? What makes it important? Why would the user want to use this? That's the meat and the substance of all of this, really. So think about that. And again, feel free to use mine if you'd like to. Great. So let me show you how to export. If you want to just export the images, you can select an artboard just by clicking the title up here. And you can go into File, and then you can go into Export, Selected, or Selected Artboards. And this is going to make it a PNG for you. And that's how you can upload it into Discord. You can upload the images. If you have interactions you're showing, you might want to do a video. So in order to do that, you can go into the play mode. And I think there is actually an alternative to this for Windows users, if someone can put that in the chat. This is for Mac users predominantly, I believe. I don't think it's changed recently. So if someone can just put in the chat how to do for Windows users. You would just click this little record button. So now it's recording my interactions here. It's making a little video. And then I could just click it again to stop it. And then I could label it and it makes a little MP4. So that's also how you can download it and share it into Discord. That Discord is what you use to get mentor feedback. But of course, we also want to showcase it to the design community, start building out our portfolios. What you want to do is actually post it on Behance so I can see it as well, and I can start to showcase your work every day on these channels. So I'm going to showcase people's work every day. And let me show you how you can make it findable. First, you're going to create a project. So you see all my projects I have already. I had 6, 7 projects. And you can just start building your project by adding images, videos, text. So you can add those, the images and videos that I just showed you how to export here. And then from there, to make it findable, you're going to go into settings. And then you're going to go into your project tags and go to XD Creative Challenge. And that's going to be one of your tags that you use. This is how I'm going to be able to find it. And then I'll be like, oh, tomorrow here we're showing so-and-sos, and we'll display them. We'll give you some props. This is how we can find it. But most importantly, this is great for you to start building out a case study for your portfolio. Now, this is day 3. We have another, do I count? 7 days left. And you can just keep adding and adding and adding to it. And that's really the great thing about this project for the next 2 weeks is you're going to have a much more fuller case study, because you're going from foundational level all the way to kind of like a real fleshed out app that you'll have here. So you can constantly edit and change it in Behance as we go along in the next few weeks. All right, that pretty much summarizes all the pieces here. I don't think I see any more questions. Thank you, Hila, thank you for thanking me for upgrading your thinking with the comments on one page. And thank you, Tim, for allowing people to understand how to do this through Windows or recording through Windows. All right, much love, everyone. Happy Wednesday. And I will see you guys tomorrow for day number 4. Can't wait to see all your work. Bye.